Boy, have we got 2 spectacular days for you. So, who here has done a training with either me or Steve before? Oh, a few of you. Who's just been to like a night presentation or something like that? So there's a few of you. Yeah. And who's actually done this training before? Is anybody? Oh, there's a few. So you're back for some more. Great. Well, we've been doing this for a few years now, and we get some phenomenal feedback. In fact, just the other day, somebody posted, it was exactly a year ago I did this training, and my life has changed, measurably. It's so much better. And the objective is, you see, this is 4 lots of 90 minutes each day. So I'll do 2 lots of 90 minutes. Steve will do 2 lots of 90 minutes. And then tomorrow, Steve will do 2 and I'll do 2. And so you're basically, if you were with us, one of us, for 90 minutes, you're going to change, right? Things are going to get better, but you're getting 8 lots of it. So it's compressed. Years ago, I wrote a book called Change Your Life in 7 Days. And people used to say to me, it's like 25 years ago, and they say, well, how could you possibly change in 7 days? And stuff like this, people used to spout this stuff like it takes 21 days to change a habit, just bullshit like this, right? And I would say, no, I've seen people change. I've seen people change in 7 seconds. I've seen people go, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm never doing that again. Or they come up with an idea and they suddenly go, hang on, wait. I can see how my life could be better. Or they're just in a place where they go, I'm open to something new happening, right? And so we are deliberately setting out to create life change for you in lots of different areas of your life. But rather than install our model of happiness in you, right, I would rather that you find what makes you happy, what it is that works for you in the main areas of your life. Let's do a little stock take before we even start, right? I want you to check the major areas of your life and just rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So either do that in a note or you can do it in your head, because we're going to see how much they've changed by tomorrow, right? Because we're going to keep tweaking. We're going to be giving you the tools to be able to do this yourself, right? Because there's an old saying, which is if you give someone a fish, they eat for a day. Teach someone to fish, they eat for life. So the idea is that you can take stuff away with you here that is empowering. You can take away techniques to do all sorts of things. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your health, mental and physical? So 1 would be bad, obviously. 10 would be good. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are your relationships, personal and professional? Ballpark number. On a scale of 1 to 10. Where are your, what's your career? Your finances, spirituality, if that's important to you. Basically, general levels of happiness, scale of 1 to 10. Okay. Now, you can tuck that away because we'll be coming back to that again later. Remember this, so this is about change. It's about you learning techniques and tools. So basically, the 8 sessions are like this. The first one we're going to do this morning is all about getting control of your thinking, of your state of mind, your feelings, and ultimately your behaviors, and then to get better results in the world. Then Steve this afternoon is going to be doing belief change to begin with. So, if you have beliefs that are holding you back, if you think you're not worthy, or, you're frightened of this or something like that, and you just believe you can't, or whatever it is, he's got things to help you to change your beliefs so that you become more empowered. Then he's going to do a whole load of stuff around self-sabotage, right? And imposter syndrome and, holding yourself back, not fulfilling your true potential, right? To bust through that. Then I'm coming back and we're going to do trauma or blocks, right? So if you've been traumatized by something, you can't get over it, or if you're just blocked, and you know what it is, but you're just blocked and you just can't get the results you want, we're gonna move you beyond those, right? And you see, we've been doing this for a long time now. I've been doing this for about 40 years. I think Steve's the same. And you've hired us for the weekend, and we are both very good employees. Yeah, you're in a room with 2 hypnotists for 2 days. So what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, we're going to be talking to you, and usually the way we do it is we explain something, then invite somebody so we can demonstrate it, and then everybody does it. Yeah, nobody has to do anything they don't want to do. But remember, this is not a lecture. This is an immersive experience. This is a coaching experience. This is about educational change. Anybody here at 100% of their true potential? No, I thought not. You know, I've been asking people for years, and nobody's ever said yes. Oh, actually, no, there was one person, Tyler Winklevoss. It was a dinner party at my house, and he says, yes. He said, at this moment, I am at 100%. And he had just invented Facebook, so I thought, yeah, he probably is at 100%. But nobody ever says yes to that question. Now, the good news is that means that there's room for you to improve, right? And it seems to me the two main areas, the two main ways that people hold themselves back from achieving their true potential is self-sabotage, stopping themselves, limiting themselves, because they're basically trying to overprotect themselves, or just not thinking big enough, rich enough, thinking outside the normal boundaries of possibility. So once again, we're going to be getting you to do things like that. So tomorrow, Steve will start with the success mindset. There are certain things that successful people do that unsuccessful people do. There's people who say to me, oh, success is all just a matter of luck. Yeah, sure, ask any failure. Yeah, of course, success and happiness, they're not accidents. They don't just randomly happen to some people. They're created by certain ways of thinking and acting. And over the next 2 days, we're going to be showing you how you can step into a success mindset, how you can find your own powerful resources, how you can begin to design the life you want. So the next session tomorrow will be all about a compelling future, right? Now, the good idea to get interested in the future because you'll be spending the rest of your life there. And one of the things I've noticed is a lot of people spend more time making a list for the supermarket than the next year or 5 years of their life, right? And so, without having a direction in life, it's a bit like setting off in a boat without a rudder. You could end up anywhere. So when you get, well, I don't know what I want. No, I know that's our job, is to help you get clean and clear about what it is that you want, yeah? So as soon as you do that, and you've got this compelling future, you've got things to look forward to, and you can see bright opportunity, everything feels good, right? People say to me, they go, how come you've got rather a lot of energy? And I go, well, I look forward to getting up in the morning because I've got an exciting life. And, I built it that way. I designed it. One of my friends recently said, I noticed you get a lot of what you want, Paul. And I said, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, not every time, but he said, come out of the closet and admit that you manifest it. And I said, well, I would, but, some people think that word is a bit woo-woo. Does anybody do any manifesting here? Anybody into it? Good, because we're going to be doing some of that. Because I'm going to be showing you later, tomorrow afternoon, how to manifest money, all right? I wrote a book called I Can Make You Rich years ago, and it's all about, because I studied the mindset of super successful rich people, and rich in every sense, not just the wealthy. And I realized that they think differently to, there's rich thinking and poor thinking. Not really rich people, poor people, but rich thinking. And I'm going to show you some of that. I'm going to demonstrate it. And then we're going to finish on stuff that makes you happy, right? Because that's really the greatest measure of success for me, is how happy are you? How much joy do you experience every day? And some of it is neurochemical, and some of it is just practice. Happiness, in a sense, is a habit, right? Yeah. The more by the way, it's always there as well. It's always available, but it's a habit. And the more you practice it, the better at it you get. And you see, the thing is, in this compressed experience of like 2 intense days of personal change, what's going to happen is breakthroughs, right? So some people, who've got things like anxiety as an issue. Yeah, it's a big one right now. Anybody suffer from a bit of anxiety? Yeah. Well, you're in the right place because we're going to banish that fucking anxiety. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, there's going to be the odd miracle here today. Thing is, if you open a newspaper right now, you turn on TV, you're under attack. It's the war, it's the virus, it's the economy, it's something, right? And so it's understandable that particularly after the pandemic, a lot of people were left with the ability to catastrophize. And when I speak to friends of mine who are therapists, I say, what's the number one thing that people are coming to see you for right now? They'll go, either it's anxiety or it's anxiety related. It's insomnia because of anxiety or something else. So again, we're going to be dealing with these sorts of things. So the idea is that you actually got a lot more say in how you think and feel, which alters your destiny. So first model I want to share with you, one second. oh God, that feels better, is basically, is all the results that we get in life come from our behaviors, right? The things that we do in the world, right? The way we interact. That determines our success or failure. Everything you do, from boiling an egg to making $1 million, is a result of behavior. Yep. Now, the thing is, what drives behaviors? It's a thing called state, your state of mind and body, right? So all day long, we're going from one state to another. Look, states are things like love or apathy or confidence or motivation. The state of mind and body you are in when you wake up in the morning is different to the state of mind and body you're in when you're giving a presentation or when you're relaxing late or when you're having lunch or when you're watching TV. We're all moving through different states all day long. Now, some states are very resourceful, right? You know, confidence, motivation, creativity. And then sometimes we go into states which are necessary, but they're uncomfortable, like fear, anger, guilt, sadness, etc., right? You see, all of our emotions have a purpose, right? They're a signal, right? So fear says, be prepared. If I'm about to step off the curb and there's a bus coming, I want some fear to pull me back, to keep me alive. I just don't want to live in it, right? So people that are permanently anxious, right? What they're doing is they're having too much fear. I mean, very often that anxiety goes with being a perfectionist. It's, you know, it's about being very driven, etc. But it's exhausting, right? It's mentally exhausting. It also, you weaken the immune system when you're aroused too much of the time. So the thing is that, you know, anger is usually when one of our standards is violated. Don't talk to me like that. Guilt, oh, I did something bad. I need to go and correct it, yeah? I just don't want to live in these states. You know, I'm a recovering Catholic, so I understand guilt very well, right? And things like grief, if somebody, you know, we love dies or they leave us, we should feel sad because otherwise, how can we have any sense of value? But we just don't want to live in it, yeah? So at school, we are taught what to think. Really, this session is about how to think. And I'm going to give you some more examples of that. So what creates a neurophysiological state, right? Pictures and sounds, right, that we make inside our mind. Some people say to me, I don't make any pictures, I don't visualize. So I say, what color is your front door? Right, everybody show me, which side is the handle on? Is it on this side, or this, and does it open in or pull out? Show me, please. I just need to know you're visualizing. You visualize, great. And then people go, no, but it's not like reality. Good. You need to know the difference between the two, right? Yeah, so if I say to you, how did you get here today? You can think about it. If I go, up the Eiffel Tower, can you think about it? Yeah? We call these, actually, the technical name is internal representations of reality, right? But, you know, I'm not going to get too techie because this isn't that sort of training. You know, we're not teaching you to become therapists. What we're doing is we're coaching you and using educational change to help you have a better life. So you don't really need to know all the techie stuff, but you do, you know, just like you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car, right? But some of the things, we want you to learn them so that, you know, the techniques, so that you know them, so that you can do them in the real world. If you're suddenly overwhelmed emotionally, you've got a resource to make yourself calm. Be useful, wouldn't it? Yeah, real useful, which you'll be learning this morning. So the pictures that we make, and also the sounds, right? The internal dialogue. We talk to ourselves all day long with an internal dialogue. And, you know, to some extent, that's very useful. You know, I must remember to do this. Oh, am I going to talk to her? Oh, hang on, no, don't do that. Yeah. And so we sort of guide ourselves through life. But also, you know, sometimes we can be very harsh and critical. You know, we can go, you stupid, yeah, and give ourselves a right telling off. You know, I've noticed some people do this, right? First thing in the morning, they look in the mirror, right? And they slack themselves off. They go, fat face, big ears, you know, look at the state of you, what a mess, you know, and then just go off out for the day, right? After a right bollocking, yeah? So thing is that, you know, the other thing with internal dialogue is, I used to be able to do this, right? I used to be able to have an argument with somebody on a Friday, right? And I could make it last all weekend, like a whole 10-minute argument. I go, I know you fancied that, and I said that, right? And it's all going on in my head, yeah? Even though it only took 10 minutes, that's a case of my brain running me rather than me running my brain. And this is very much about running your own brain, right? Today. So let's try our first thought experiment. I'd like you to talk to yourself with your internal dialogue. Now, one or two people going, well, where's my internal? I don't know. Do I have an internal? Yeah, that voice there that's speaking to you right now. Yeah. And just point to it. Where is it? Is it the front? Is it the back? Where is it? Yeah. There you go. Okay. Now, I'd like you to talk to yourself, not out loud, with your internal dialogue. And I want you to copy what I'm saying and the tone of it. So I'd like you to hear your internal dialogue inside your head. Say these words. All is well. All is well. All is well. Safe. Peaceful. Hopeful. Calm. Safe. Peaceful. Hopeful. Calm. And then stop. Who found that feels nice? Yeah. Do you know, this guy the other day interviewed me, right? Radio DJ, broadcaster. And he said, I read that book you wrote about 20 years ago on confidence. And I said, oh, okay. Was it helpful? He said, well, let me tell you, there was a girl at the radio station where I work that I really wanted to ask out, but I kept saying to myself, she won't go out with you, all sort of negative self-talk, right? It'll never happen. You'll get rejected. And he said, and I learned to switch that off. And I went, she might go out with you. Hey, maybe she will go out with you. I'm going to ask her out. Yeah, I'm going to, et cetera. And he changed his internal dialogue. I said, what happened? He goes, we've been married 15 years, right? One change like that makes all the difference in the world. It's the difference that makes the difference, right? So internal dialogue can be positively encouraging, and don't be too surprised as your internal dialogue begins to encourage you over the next few days, how you get some insight into things, how you suddenly start to think more confidently, more clearly about things. Now, also, the power of internal dialogue can be something that's said to us at a formative age, something really mean, something, that was upsetting. And even though it was said years ago, when we think about it, see, things like to a child, be quiet, no one wants to hear what you have to say. There's a fear of public speaking or shyness, yeah? Because it goes into the unconscious mind with the power of a hypnotic suggestion said at a formative age. I need somebody to help me out here. Someone who had something really bad said to them many years ago. And even when you think about it now, it still makes you feel, there's a lady over here. I'm coming over here. Okay. So you had something bad said to you. Hang on, let me come around and talk to you. Hello. It's how do I say your name, ma'am?
Nubia.
Nubia. Hi, Nubia. What was it that was said to you?
My mother said that when I was born, I looked like a lizard.
You look like a lizard, right? Now, and when you think about that, she told you at later stage, because when you were born, obviously, you probably don't remember what your mother said to you exactly. But did she tell you at a later stage, I thought when you were born, you looked like a lizard?
She was embarrassed because I looked really bad. She was embarrassed for my father to see me.
Yeah.
And I always felt bad about being a woman.
About being a woman, right. So can you remember the first time, or the most powerful time in a negative sense, that your mother said, when you were born, you looked like a lizard? Can you remember a time she said that to you?
I remember when she told me.
Yeah, great. Now, you can remember the words coming out of her mouth, right? And she didn't say them in English, did she?
No.
No, but we're going to do it in English, right? And I want you to see her face, Nubia. And I want you to hear them come out, the words come out like this. That's it. See the words coming out. Now, when you think about her saying that now, what's the difference?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. So does it upset you?
No.
No, you're healed. Okay, first healing of the morning. Now, I know I made that seem, comedic, but which is, of course, my style. But the thing is, don't underestimate the power of what we just did there, right? Because you could have gone to therapy for years, right? And you said to the therapist, and then my mother said this, and then the therapist said, and how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about it? And then you go back and you're doing it for years and you're going over the same shit again and again, and of course, and it costs a fortune. You have to go back through the pain. And we just did it in seconds. Because what we did was we changed the neurocoding. The coding was, it was said in a particular way. And when you choose to hear it in a ridiculous way, a way you can't take seriously, it breaks the spell. And people go, well, it wasn't something that was said. It was written down about me and I read it. And I go, yeah, but you read it with your internal dialogue, right? So somebody else who had something really mean said to them years ago, and even now it still upsets them. Yes, gentleman here. Okay. Hi, it's Dan, right? Dan. Hi, Dan. So what was the thing that was said to you word for word?
You're not a creative person.
You're not a creative person, right? Okay, by the way, anybody else had that said to them at school, you're not artistic, yeah? What a load of shit as well, like of course, like there's only certain class of people who can be creative. By the way, everyone is creative. Some people have this idea you have to have a bow tie and work in an ad agency to be creative, right? No, when you drive a car, you're creating a journey. When you talk to somebody, you're creating a conversation. Yeah, you cannot not be creative, right? So who said it to you?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Grandmother's face here. Yeah. And here we go. Let's break the spell. They're not creative. They're not creative. They're not creative. See her face saying the words. They're not creative. 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 What's it feel like now when you hear us say it?
Yes, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yes, because you are creative. Okay. Don't let that suggestion go in too deeply, right? People think, that they're listening in the audience, that the suggestions are up here. No, they travel all the way into your unconscious mind from the stage. Right, so I'd like you to do our first experiment then, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like you to think about something that somebody said to you that was mean, or you read it, and we're going to go bust that for starters. I want you, so it might be, you stupid, useless, ugly fool. I actually had a school report that said I would never amount to anything. And so it was great. When I had my first bestseller, I wrote, fuck you in it. And I sent it to my teacher. And it was very childish, but incredibly gratifying. So I'd like you to take whatever negative thing it is, okay? Think of the person saying it to you and point to where they are. Show me. Where are you picturing them? And I'd like you to hear the voice. So the thing that they said, like, you're useless and you'll never amount to anything. Hear it come out like this. Make it as ridiculous as you can. Yes, do it again. Okay. So stop. Who, when they hear it like that, finds it feels different? Sure. Great. Okay. So you're taking charge now. You're basically disempowering an old thing that was said to you that upset you, may even influenced your behaviors over the years, or your self-image, the way you think about yourself. I bet you find it hard to think of yourself like a lizard now, right? Okay. So the pictures and the sounds create the states. Let's see how the pictures do it. Okay. First off, I'd like you to close your eyes and remember a time that you felt really good. Anytime. Maybe you're relaxing with friends, or you've just achieved something. Maybe you've fallen in love, or maybe it was just a wonderful day. Any happy time, and return to it like you're back there again now. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel how good you felt all over again. That's right. Make the colors rich, bright, and bold, And the sounds loud and the feelings strong. There you go. And enjoy that. And notice where the feelings are strongest. And that's it. Just keep going through that memory again and again. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and come on back out. Who feels good right now? Right? Great. Now, the reason is the human nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real and a vividly imagined experience. So when you remember, so remember something really good, human nervous system, it's like you're back there again, creates the good feelings. So basically, there's only two ways to feel good or bad. One is to remember something good or bad that happened. The other is to imagine something good or bad that could happen. Yeah? So this is the power of the pictures that we're making inside our mind. Now, at school, we are taught what to think, but we're not taught how to think. And how to think is really what we're talking about next. So I said, remember it like you're back there again now. So you're inside the memory, right? Somebody recently been through a trauma or something, something really upsetting. Okay, I'll come to you in a minute. So I remember years ago, about 10 years ago, was when my father died. I was really not in a very good place. And, I was I was awful. I was drinking heavily and just, I never felt any good the next day. And so one day I stopped and thought, how am I upsetting myself like this? It's been a month now. And I went, oh, I see. I'm remembering the last few months of his life. I'm inside the memory in the hospital in full color, the machine going beep. And I thought, no wonder it's making me sad, right? So what I did was I stepped out of the memory. So I stepped out of myself, see the back of my head, and I drained all the color out until it went black and white. And then I shrunk it down and sent it away. And then I stepped into a good memory because my dad had a really great life, right? And I suddenly remember the good times, like playing football, laughing at a movie together, him giving me some encouraging advice. And it took me about a day or two. Every time that I got sad, it's always connected to a picture. I went, oh, God, I'm back in the step out, black and white, shrink it down, send it away, step into a happy time. And after a day or two, the default setting was for me to go to the good times because I was saying to my brain, not that, this. Now, of course, if somebody passes, it is totally appropriate to grieve, right? That's very natural and normal. So I'm not suggesting we become some sort of robot and just no grief, I turn the grief off. Yeah, because it wouldn't be normal. Because how can you have any sense of meaning, any sense of value if not? Yeah, and so somebody that's been through a sort of something I'm going to deal with this more this afternoon, but somebody's just been through something recently that's, not very recently, but still when you think about it, it's upsetting. Yeah. Oh, there's a lady there. Oh, this one. Thank you. Hello. Hi. It's Sheena. Hi, Sheena. Where are you from?
From Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Hang on one sec. There we go. Hi. There we go. Hi, Sheena. You're from Edinburgh?
Yeah, I live in West Sussex.
You live in Sussex. So without going into too much detail, you went through something. This is the other thing. We don't actually have to know, really. But just as this is a demonstration, what was it, the traumatic or upsetting thing you went through?
My son had a head injury
Right.
and catastrophic, horrible
Hmm.
things happened, but he's healed fully. But I
Right.
still go back to.
You go back to. Right. Now, when you see, now it's interesting. Sheena's language, I go back to. In other words, I associate into. I'm inside, yeah? So when you go back to, right now, what I'd like you to do, if it helps, close your eyes. I'd like you to float out of your body, Sheena. So you can see the back of your head floating further and further away from this upsetting experience. And then drain all the color out so it becomes black and white. That's right. And then shrink that image down until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. There you go. Smaller and smaller, and then disappear it. And then I'd like you to think of how your son is now recovered from this in full color. Then open your eyes and come on back out. Now, when you think about the time that you said you found yourself going back to, the traumatic experience, right? What happens when you step out of it and you make it black and white? What happens to feelings?
It takes the weight out of it. It takes away.
It takes away the uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And then immediately you step into the happy time. Right.
And I felt an inner smile.
Yeah.
And
An inner smile. Great. So if you find yourself going back to it, you step out, you take a moment, got to step out, make it black and white, send it away, and straight into a full color happy time. So you're saying to your brain, not that, this, not that, this. And after a while, it automates, right? So the thing is, we can do it now because your son's recovered. But had it happened last week, it'd be a different matter, right? So, because, that's just the way it is. So let's all try that. Now, I'm going to ask you to think of, it doesn't have to be a massive trauma. We're doing trauma this afternoon, but just come up with something uncomfortable. It can be an argument, a disappointment, or something, a bit upsetting. But don't go with anything massive. Save it for this afternoon. Right? So go with something mildly uncomfortable. Close your eyes and return to it like you're back there again now. And float out of yourself so you can see the back of your head and float further and further back. And then drain all the color out of this memory until it becomes black and white. Drain it all out and then shrink it down, and send it away. And then open your eyes and come on back out. So who finds that when they step out, they make the uncomfortable memory black and white and send away, that it reduces the emotional intensity? Yeah. So a simple principle that we're working with here is, it's not what we picture, how we picture it. Yeah. If we're inside the picture, it's got greater emotional intensity than if we're outside. So we step out of the bad times, step into the good. So the sounds and the pictures are creating the states all day long, right? For example, somebody says to you, hey, do you want to go to a party? And you go, oh, hang on a minute. And you picture, literally in a split second, you go, oh, right, yeah, I'm there at the party. I don't really know anyone. It's all very awkward. I don't like the sound of this. You're saying with your internal dialogue, making pictures of it all being awkward. Sorry, busy, can't make it. But say someone says, you want to go to a party? And you make a different movie. You're there, you're hanging out, having a couple of drinks, and you're meeting people, and it's all good. This could be good. Yeah, what time's the party, right? So literally, we're moving towards or away from things all day long with the pictures and the sounds that we make. We're actually motivating ourselves towards or away from things. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people are unaware of it. There was a guy I worked with who was a rock star, and he had a fear of flying. And I said to him, so look, because I'm not frightened of flying, right? If I was going to stand in for you for the day, how do I do this fear? How do I make myself frightened of flying? And he said, I say to myself, flying, this is going to be bad, right? Imagines getting to the airport. And he's like, oh my God. Then he gets on the plane, excuse me, the door closes, chunk, and he goes, I can't get out. Like you want to at 35,000 feet, but anyway. And then he imagines the plane taking off, filling with smoke, and it crashes into the ground, and his daughter goes, where's daddy, where's daddy? And he's running this all the time, right? So this is how he makes himself feel anxious, feel terrified of flying. Because I said, I got an entirely different movie in my head. When someone says flying to me, I think, wow, I'm going to get on a plane and relax. I maybe watch a movie, have something to eat, glass of wine, nobody's calling me. It's great, I'm just relaxed. And I think about where I'm going, right? Bam, that's really big deal. Where I'm going. And so I have an entirely different state connected with flying, right? So all day long, we're making these movies. I used to, when I was a single man years ago, I would be at a club or something, and I'd see a girl, and I think, I'm going to ask her to dance. And then as I get up, I'd start the walk, and I would have a series of pictures and sounds in my head, like, everybody's looking at you. She's going to tell you to get lost. Oh my God, you're going to look like an arse. This sort of stuff. And I would picture it, me, her saying, get lost, loser. And before I'd even asked her, I'd failed many, many times in my mind. And I go, I don't suppose you want to dance, right? So when I learned to take control over my internal pictures and sounds, I'd see, and I'd stand up and I'd hear a drum roll in my head. And I'd have maybe like a gospel choir go, he gonna ask that girl to dance, oh yeah. And I'd hear a voice, like the voice of God in my head going, that lucky girl might get to dance with you. And I'd come over in an entirely different state of mind and body. I'd say, like to dance? And if it was a no, your loss. Yeah. So the thing is, I'm using comedy, right, to make a point, to demonstrate, right, the pictures and the sounds have a profound effect upon the state and therefore the behaviors, right? So over the next 2 days, you're going to be learning a lot about how to control your internal world, which will affect your external world, right? And so it's a very good idea to get control over those pictures and those sounds, and not just the pictures, but the way you make them as well, right? Are you inside something or are you outside? Yeah, that'll make a difference, the emotional intensity. Yeah, so if you're feeling upset about something, hey, maybe there's a good reason, right? I'm not saying turn off all the uncomfortable feelings, right? But if you're, like people who catastrophize, literally, I found this during the pandemic, that people could literally watch the news and suddenly go, oh my God, well, we're going to get COVID, we're going to die, and the economy's going to crash, and the family's going to, right? None of it happened, right? To the people I was talking to, that was. And yet they were preparing for emergencies that were never going to happen. That's understandable. There's a deadly virus, the news is reporting it. You wouldn't be human if you didn't have some concern, right? But there were people who were literally going through terrible things over and over again. Mark Twain famously said, I've been through some terrible experiences in my life, and some of them actually happened, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get control of that so that, see, when you've got more control over your state, you've got more control over your behaviors, you've got more control over life. Now, the other component here in creating state is physiology. And physiology is posture. It's expression, it's muscle tension or relaxation. It's everything that your body's communicating at any one time. Yeah. Now, you know what it's like when you're really tense in your mind, you're having all sorts of attack thoughts. Your body tenses up like this, right? See, the mind and body are linked, right? So when you go for a massage and you have your body relaxed, what happens is your mind relaxes as well. So all day long, the mind and body are in this cybernetic loop. One is affecting the other all the time. When it comes to physiology, right, in all the years I've been working as a therapist, nobody's ever come into my office and gone, I'm depressed, right? Because depression does not have that physiology, right? They're usually looking at the ground and it's all miserable, that sort of thing. I've noticed that people who are confident tend to stand more upright, yeah? Like a cord is holding them up. I don't know if you've seen this study, right? It's a Harvard study, right? Where they got people to pull these power poses, right? This is one of them, right? You don't do it in public, by the way. You could go off somewhere private and do it, right? This is staying alive, yeah, right? Staying alive, right? That's that one. Then there's this one, Wonder Woman. And finally this one. And in the study, what they did was they got people to go to mock job interviews. But they had one half of the group go and pull the power poses for a couple of minutes. And they did significantly better than the ones who didn't, right? So literally your posture has a say in the state, yeah? The state of mind and body that you're in. For example, did you know when you smile, you release some serotonin, some happy neurotransmitter, yeah? It's really, so that's what I encourage people to smile, Go on, show me your biggest smile. Oh dear, how tragic. No, look, when you get really good at smiling, right, you can sit like this in your office all day long and no one will bother you. Jehovah's Witnesses won't come around to my house anymore now. I'll open the door and go, No, really, when you get good at smiling, you can actually get on public transport without a newspaper to avert eye contact from the loony. right? So, you can get on, say, the Northern Line, right? And the loony gets on, they come into the carriage like this and they go, he could have been somebody else, right? And you just go, "Ee, ee," and they'll walk right past you. So what we're going to do in just a moment is silly, but it's not stupid. I'm going to ask you to pull the biggest smile you've ever pulled and make this noise because it helps. And I want you to turn to the person next to you and go, "Ee," like this. We're going to use our physiology to change our state. So on the count of three, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There's a couple of people here who are going, oh, for God's sake, I thought we were coming to a psychology training. No, you're the ones who most need to do it. So there's a couple of people also going, like this. It's not really a smile, that is it? It's more like a death threat or something, So what we're going to do is we're going to do it again. This time, do you remember those toothpaste commercials back in the 70s and 80s where someone would be walking down the street and they'd turn, right? And their teeth would sparkle and they'd go ding, like that, right? So what I'd like you to do on the count of three is turn to the person next to you and go ding, like that, right? 1, 2, 3. There we go. We're getting those endorphins going. Yeah. Let's add one more element, shall we? Because we want to produce a really nice state of tingling happiness. I want you to go on the count of three. Ah. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Who feels good? Yeah. Okay, so we've used your physiology to affect your state, right? Because we did something that was a bit daft, and we did a bit of smiling, we did some laughing, yeah? Got some endorphins going, body's natural opiates, right? Now, I mentioned the mind and body are linked together, right? They're in this cybernetic loop. One is always affecting the other. Now, who here is frightened of public speaking, by the way? Who's really frightened of public speaking? You are, ma'am, yeah?
Yeah.
No, you are, ma'am.
Yeah, my heart's actually.
It is good. Come on up. Let's join me, please. I know you can trust me. It's not my first rodeo. Come on. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Okay, here we go. Woo! Sorry. Samantha, yes, how are you?
All right, a minute ago.
All right. Yeah. I know. Sorry. Now, don't worry. Okay. Now, I know you're looking at them here. And if I said to you in a minute, I'm going to give you the microphone and I'm going to leave the stage and I'm going to ask you to talk to everyone. On a scale of 1 to 10, how scary would that be?
10.
10. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a technique from the discipline of Aikido. So Aikido is a defensive martial art. And what I want you to do is push on my shoulder like this, harder and harder, right? It's all right. It's all going to be okay. Yeah, push with one of your hands. Now push harder and harder, like you're going to push me over. And if you carried on, you would, because I'm up here in my head, right? Where most of us are chattering away all the time. And I'm going to move my center of attention to here and put my brain in my tummy, right? I'm going to think from my heart, right? So move my center of attention. I'm going to think from the center of my being. So push on my shoulder now, please. Yep, and I'm stronger. So let's do it with you. So if you, Samantha, there we go. Where are you? Where are you from, by the way?
Leeds.
Leeds, lovely. Now, Samantha, I'm just going to wobble you and find, now Samantha's in her head here. So I'd like you to move your attention. That's it. In fact, if it helps, put your hand here. And
I feel anxious.
you feel anxious. Yeah, I know. That's all right. Yeah, it's great. But put your hand here, put your brain there. That's it. Okay. And think from here. Now, that's it. Just keep your attention there. Now, I'm pushing as hard as I can, and I can't push Samantha over. And it doesn't feel like I'm pushing, does it? No. Here we go. Now, when you think about, when you think about speaking to everyone in this room on a scale of 1 to 10, how big's the fear? 10. Hold 1 point. Hold 1 point. Close your eyes. That's right. Now, hold 1 point. That's good. Tell me when the fear goes to 9.
No.
9. Great. Hold 1 point. Tell me when the fear goes to 8. Great. Tell me when the fear goes to 7. Great. Tell me when the fear goes to 6. Great. Tell me when the fear goes to 5. Great. Tell me when the fear goes to 4. Four. Great. Tell me when the fear goes to 3. Yeah. Tell me when it goes to 3. Just keep holding 1 point. Yeah. 3. Good. Tell me when the fear goes to 2. 2. Now, 2, 1 is fine. With your eyes closed, Samantha, I'd like you to imagine you're speaking into the microphone, hold 1 point, and you're talking to me. You're connecting to me, and we're just having a conversation. You know what it's like when you talk to your friends? You're not frightened of being judged. You're just natural and you're authentic. The same way, you're just naturally and authentically telling me about your hobbies or interests or anything that, is casual conversation. But that's it. That's it. You're holding 1 point. And it all goes perfectly. It goes absolutely the way you want it to. See what you'll see, hear what you'll hear, and feel how good you feel. Keep seeing it going perfectly the way you like it to, whilst holding 1 point. Now, I'd like you also to imagine a challenge occurs. Maybe you trip over your words, or you suddenly go, "Oh, can I do this?" But it doesn't matter. You can, because you're holding 1 point. You're staying resilient. So whether it goes perfectly, or whether there's a challenge or two and things don't go perfectly, you stay strong. Yeah? Because we can't control everything that's ever going to happen to us, but we have a big say in how we think and feel, in control of our state, right? This stops and reduces emotional overwhelm. There you go. That's right. So see it going perfectly again. You're talking to me there in the middle of the room, and you're just talking to the microphone, and it's natural. And it all goes perfectly. Or even if there's a challenge, that's okay too. And then open your eyes and come on back out. Great. So if you take hold of this, there's like a sweet spot about here, right?
Mhm.
That's great. Now, tell me, you say you're from Leeds, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do for a living?
Well,
That's it.
life coaching.
Oh, you do some coaching. This is great. Great. Now, and do you like doing it? Is it fulfilling?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any sort of hobbies or interests, passions, things that you love to do?
I just started paddle tennis and yoga.
Wow.
Mhm.
And what is it you love about that? What does that bring to your life?
Yoga tries to, helps calm my mind.
Yes, yes.
And yes, I am shaky now still, but
Oh, hang on, wait. Yeah, that's right. Now, so hang on. Here we go. Go to that place, get strong again, Samantha. So that's it. Just hold 1 point. There you go. Where's the fear? What number?
I was 6.
About a 6. Hold 1 point. Tell me when it goes to 5.
Okay, 5.
5. And tell me when it goes to 4.
4.
4. Tell me when it goes to 3. 3, 2. Yeah, so the thing you love about yoga is that it calms your mind. I mean, it's a wonderful practice, isn't it? Do you have any pets at all, by the way?
No, I don't have any pets. I did have one, but sadly he passed away
I'm sorry to
many
hear that.
years ago. But yeah, but I love pets.
You love pets?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love dogs.
Love dogs. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Do you know, I mean, sadly, my dog passed away last week. It's been very sad for me. But, you know, I love dogs. It's great. Do you know what I love about dogs? They just, I don't know if you've heard this. Apparently, if you lock your wife and your dog in the boot of your car and you come back an hour later, guess which one will be pleased to see you? Now, I want you to just tell me about when I asked you to think about a happy time, right?
Mhm.
What was the happy time that you thought of, Samantha? What was the happiest time? So talking to
The
the
happy
mic,
time was when I was diving off a jet ski in Mallorca in August. That was
Wow.
amazing.
so
in the
you were
sea.
on a jet ski
Hmm.
and then you went diving, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
swam in the water.
Oh man. Well,
Mhm.
wow. Just tell us about it. What could you see? What could you hear? What could you feel?
We went quite far out,
Yeah.
dived off the jet ski,
Yeah.
swam, watched the sunset, watched
Wow.
the sun go down. It was
Wow.
absolutely amazing.
It was amazing.
Mhm.
So, you know, you're speaking pretty authentically to me right now
Mhm.
in front of 150 people, right? And when you came up here, you were trembling, right? And, you know, right now, this is much more easy, isn't it, than it was? Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, I think you're cured, right? But we're going to do some more. Don't leave me yet because I'm going to need Samantha. Okay, so if you stay here. So again, this didn't take years of therapy. And how do you feel about the fact that you can't speak in public? Did mummy take the spoon away when you were 2? Oh, you know. Essentially, you can imagine psychotherapy taking years to treat this. Really, it's very simple. It's control of state through a simple shift in attention, right? So Samantha's going to stay with me here, if that's okay. So I need you to help me. Now, I'd like everyone to stand up, please, and partner up, right? So get somebody to work with. And so, you know, just look for somebody. If you haven't got a partner, put your hand up and look for someone else with their hand up and go and meet them. And hey, who knows, you might become friends. There's 2 people standing right next to each other there with their hands up. Just turn to the man next to you. Oh, there you go. Everyone get a partner. By the way, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. It's rather remiss of me. There are, so we have a group of assistants here. Assistants, if you want to raise your hands, right? And they are here to help you, ladies and gentlemen. They're not here to do therapy on you, but they are all psychotherapists, coaches, trainers. You know, they're people who've been working with me for years. And their job is, if you're struggling with a technique or an exercise, or you can't understand it, whatever, their job's to get stuck in and help you, right? To be of assistance to you. They love doing this. They're really good. They're very, very good at it. So is anyone who doesn't have a partner yet? Yeah, okay. So look behind you and find someone else with their hand up. And there's a lady over there. So if you haven't got, an assistant will come. There's a lady here. An assistant will come and work with you, right? So let's all partner up. Yeah, there's a lady down here. Yep. Gentleman there. Yeah. You 2 meet. That's right. Oh, that's it. You look good together. No, it is amazing the amount of people who come on these trainings and they make friends. You know, they make friends that they stay with for life. I mean, actually, I've met some people who go, we met and we got married. Not exactly on the training, but later. You know, but and it's a really wonderful thing. You know, right? So you know. Take advantage of. So, look, by the way, I know that when we're doing techniques, you might get a friend that you want to work with all the time. That's okay. But also, when you work with different people, you get a variety of experience. Now, I am A, and Samantha is B. So just choose A, B. Do that. Okay. Right. Now, A, stand to the side of B. Stand to the side of B like this. Yeah. And B, stand with your feet about 6 inches apart. And A, gently wobble B. Wobble B, there we go, wobble B. Stop. Okay, that's enough wobbling. Now, B, put your brain in your tummy, hold 1 point. We call it in Aikido. There you go. That's it. Think from here. A, push on B's shoulder. That's it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. That's right. Do this several times. That's it. Do it until you've really learned it. Do it again. Okay, stop. Okay, there are one or two people going, oh, no, I don't think this works. No, hang on. Look, when a baby first learns to walk, if it falls over, we don't go, oh, this one isn't a walker. No, we pick it up, right? And we give it another go. It's called learning. So we're going to do that again. Just practice again. And hold 1 point. See, this is something that's going to serve you for the rest of your life, this technique. You'll be able to use this in situations where you feel emotionally overwhelmed. Just keep practicing it until they can just, you're sure that they're in state. So push on their shoulder. And if they're strong, they're in state. Okay, good. Now, B, I want you to think of a person or a situation that throws you off balance. So it might be public speaking, like it was with Samantha, or it could be giving a presentation, talking to your boss, bumping into your ex. Think of a person or a situation that throws you off balance. And I'd like you to, when you think about them, notice what level the uncomfortable feeling's at. You know, pick something that's like an 8, 9, 10, not some pussy 3 or 4 thing, yeah? But pick a proper one, right? Woo, flying in an airplane, right? So pick something big. And then I want you to tell the number to A, just the number. Right, here we go. Here's the magic. B, hold 1 point, go into state. A, check that they're strong. Now, notice as you hold 1 point and you think about being in the presence of this person or in this environment that throws you off balance, notice the number begins to fall. So it goes from a 10 to a 9. Now, sometimes it goes slowly. Other times it goes real fast. It just goes straight down. Yep. Well, here we go. Notice when it goes to a 9. And then notice when it goes to an 8. A. Notice when it goes to a 7. Notice when it goes to a 6. And notice when it goes to a 5. Notice when it goes to a 4 and to a 3. And when you get to a 2, 1, that's fine. And now I'd like you to imagine being in the presence of this person or this environment that was throwing you off balance, and everything goes perfectly. What do you see? What do you hear? How do you feel? Just go through it several times, perfectly. What do you see, hear, and feel? Then, I'd like you to imagine a challenge or 2 occurs. What do you see? What do you hear? How do you feel? There you go. And then imagine it goes perfectly again. So whether it goes perfectly or whether there's a challenge, you stay strong. That's right. Your attention is there in the center of your being, and you are reducing emotional overwhelm. You are more resilient, more in control. Do it again and again, and then stop. Come on back out and change roles. So swap over. So we'll stay here like this, but this time A is the subject and B is the operator. Okay, so B, stand to the side of A and gently wobble A, gently wobble A. Okay, that's enough. There we go. Now, what I'd like you to do, A, is put your brain in your tummy. If it helps, put your hand here. Hold 1 point, hold 1 point, hold 1 point. There you go. And B, push on A's shoulder. And test this several times. You want them to learn to, that's it, good. Do it several times. Hold 1 point while you're pushing on their shoulder, just checking that they're in state. They're in the resourceful state. That's lovely. That's really great. In state. Now, do it again. Then, A, I want you to think of a person or a situation that throws you a bit off balance. And I would like you to rate the uncomfortable feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, please. Okay, and then tell the number to B. Okay, now hold 1 point and think about that person or that situation. And as you're holding 1 point, I'd like you to notice as the number reduces, as the uncomfortable feeling reduces. So it goes from a 10 to a 9. A 9 to an 8. An 8 to a 7. A 7 to a 6. 6 to a 5. 5 to a 4. 4 to a 3. 3 to a 2. 2 to 1. There you go. 2, 1, thereabouts. Now, imagine being the presence of that person or in that situation, and everything goes perfectly the way you want it to. What will you see, hear, and feel? Because you feel strong and you feel resourceful. It's all going perfectly the way you want it to. What will you see and hear and notice how strong you feel? Then, imagine a challenge or two occurs. Things don't go exactly the way you want, but it doesn't matter. You stay strong. Strong. Good. So good. And then go back to it going perfectly again. And then go back to a challenge. So it's perfect or challenging, perfectly challenging. And then open your eyes, come on back out. Okay. Who now, when they think of that personal situation, has got a significantly lower number when it comes to the uncomfortable feeling? Congratulations. Have a seat back down, please. And let's thank Samantha. Thank you very much. Let's give Samantha a nice big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, the beauty of this technique is you can do it anywhere, right? Nobody knows you're doing it. It's discreet. I mean, I remember years ago, I'd worked with this lady. She was a journalist, actually. She quit smoking. And I bumped into her in a casino, right? And I said, hey, how's the smoking thing going? She went, well, she was going great. I've had just the worst day ever, right? And I want a cigarette to calm down. And I went, do you remember that thing we did? She said, oh, that thing. I said, yeah. I said, where's the stress right now? She went, 10. I said, put your brain, you tell me when it goes to 9. No, 9. Tell me when it's 8. Tell me when it's 7, etc. Oh, I feel calm. I don't need a cigarette now. So you might find, before you give a presentation or before, you're overwhelmed by something, right? You've had a difficult experience or something and you need to calm. You put your brain here. Always take a number first, right? Because you've got to let your brain know how much it's decaying. Yeah. How much it's reducing. Yeah. And by the way, there are times that it is good to have emotional overwhelm. If you're sitting in your house and it's on catches fire and, you don't think I shall just get my overwhelm under control and watch the end of EastEnders. No, you get the hell out of there, right? So there are times to actually experience emotional overwhelm. But there are also a lot of times these days when you don't need to. So I teach this to all kinds of people, people who are normally quite confident, like athletes. So they've trained physically for an event, for 4 years, right? Years, for all their life, for the Olympics. And suddenly they walk out into a stadium and there's 1 billion people watching them on television, right? Right? So I teach them a whole 1 point. Get calm. A lot of performers use this. I mean, even I've used it over the years. I remember doing this talk show years ago, and whoever was on first was killing it. It was so funny and everything. And I just thought, shit, I've got to follow this. And I went, oh my God, I'm a bit anxious now. Where's the anxiety? I had about an 8. Hang on, wait. 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, please welcome. Of course, no problem. Yeah, because remember, the behaviors come from the state. State is influenced by the pictures, the sounds, and the physiology. Here's an example of how the pictures work. Right, we're going to crank up your state right now and drive you into a positive. What we're going to do is we're going to associate into an even more amazing you, an even more amazing you, and even more amazing you. If I said, I'd like you to imagine a really super amazing you, like the ultimate you, some of you go, that's a bit much. So what we do is we do it in stages, yeah? We do it one bit, and then we do another bit, and then we do another bit. And so what I'd like you to do is close your eyes for a moment, and I'll try to use this mic, I think, and we're going to put some relaxing music on. So what I'd like you to do, here we go, is I'd like you to close your eyes, that's it. And I want you to imagine a cinema screen in front of you. And on that screen, I'd like you to see a movie of a you that's even more confident, a you that's even more capable, a you that's exuding happiness and joy, a you that's in the flow of life, a you that's in the zone. You're confident, you're creative, you're happy, you're joyous. Yeah, that's it. Look at that movie of you. What's your posture like? What's your expression like? This you that's happy, confident, the sort of optimized you. How does your voice sound? Look at the light behind your eyes. The way that you connect with other people. Look at the way that you gesture. Everything about you that lets you know you're in an amazing state of mind and body. And what I'd like you to do is float over and into that you. That's it. Step into that you and see through the eyes of your happier, more confident, more motivated, more amazing self. Hear your internal dialogue, strong and positive. All is well. All is well. And feel how good this feels. And I'd like you to notice where the good feelings are strongest. And I'd like you to give them a color, any color, and just move that color up. Move it up through your neck into your head. Imagine it moving all the way up there. Then imagine it moving, the color moving all the way down through your shoulders into your arms and hands and fingers. Move the color down through your chest into your stomach, down through your legs to the very tips of your toes, and then double the brightness, double the intensity. Woo! Until you're glowing with this empowered feeling. Woo! This is good. Now, I'd like you to imagine from this place another cinema screen in front of you. And on that screen, I'd like you to see an even more happier, more confident, more resilient, more motivated, more optimistic you. Like a kind of optimized you, a you that's even more amazing. And look at your posture. Look at the expression on your face, the light behind your eyes, and the way you connect with other people, the way you gesture. Listen to the sound of your voice, strong and positive. All is well. And then notice where the feelings are strongest, the really good feelings. And I'd like you to remember that color and move that color up through your neck into your head. Move it down through your shoulders into your arms and hands and fingers. Down through your chest into your legs to the tips of your toes and double it again until you're glowing with this color of optimization. And then I'd like you from this place to imagine another cinema screen. And on that screen, see the ultimate you. The you that is amazing, full of love and happiness, gratitude and joy, creativity, and curiosity about life. The you that's filled with and radiates this happiness, this joy, and this confidence. Yeah. What's your posture and expression like? See the light behind your eyes and the happiness that you exude, the way you connect with other people. The sound of your voice, strong and positive. And then, when you're ready, float over and into this ultimate you. Step into this ultimate you. See through the eyes of your ultimate self. Hear your internal dialogue. Strong, positive. All is well. All is well. And feel how good this feels. And notice where the good feelings are strongest once again, and give them that color. Now move that color up through your neck into your head, down through your shoulders into your arms and hands and fingers, down through your chest into your legs, and all the way to the tips of your toes, and double that brightness and double the intensity and double them as until you're glowing with this amazing state. And now I'd like you to imagine, while you're in this amazing state, taking this into your home life. Taking it into your work life. Taking it into dealing with challenging people or situations. You're in this amazing state. Taking it into the rest of this weekend. Taking it into next week, next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, whatever it is, way off into the future. Your unconscious mind knows to take this state and make it available to you so that you automatically feel good for no particular reason other than we've programmed it into your unconscious mind, which regulates all of your chemistry, all of your electricity, all of the things that create states, posture, physiology, the psychology, the types of thoughts you have, pictures you make, and the internal dialogue. Because you know that you're an amazing human being. You have a unique gift to bring the world. Nobody can do things exactly the way you do them. That's right. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come on back out. Ooh, who feels good? Ooh, it's all right, but wait, there's more, right? So what we're learning, you see, and we're not just learning it intellectually, we're learning it experientially, is that all the results we get come from our behaviors, right? They're all driven by our state of mind and body. Pictures and sounds, what we're picturing, what we tell ourselves, help to create the state, and the physiology creates the state. Yeah. Do you know, it's a lovely story Roger Moore told me. He was a fantastic chap. I loved Roger. He was great. He told me when he was at he started out as an actor. He had this mentor, I think it was at RADA, and he said to him one day, "How tall are you?" And he went, "I'm 6'2". He went, "Well, stand like you're 6'2", right? Because Roger wasn't. So it was a bit slumped. And suddenly he said it was amazing. He started getting more parts because he just stood in a different way. Yeah. And so what we're learning here is that these are the sort of building blocks of what we're going to be doing over the next 2 days. We got a lot of stuff here, right? So we needed to start out with straightforward stuff. Some of you may know this stuff already, or some of you, it may be completely new to you, and that's fine. But as we get really motoring, right, and we are going to today and tomorrow, what we're going to do is really affect all aspects of your life, or those that you want to, right? So that basically we're going to create a much more compelling future. See, thing is, when somebody said to me about manifesting, they said, a lot of people do it by just doing a vision board or writing things down. That's 2D, as it were. 3D is when you're immersed in the experience, right? And I like to do it 4D. I like to put it in where my brain codes time. Right now, you see, the thing is, when I think about, say, next week or next month, I can see next week, I see Christmas there, and I see next year there, and the past is behind me. That's where the pictures are. That's how I code it. It's the neurocoding. Other people, the past is on the left, the present is here, and the future goes off like that. Some people, usually from Far East, it's down to up. And then, some people it goes round. There is no right or wrong way to code time. It's just unique to you. But this is important. You see, Steve's going to do a load more with you on this tomorrow. But I wanted to seed this now, right? Because it's really important that we start to, when we think about the future, we got motivated, we got happy, we're full of energy, we're full of optimism, because this is where the big, powerful life change comes from. Now, just show me, when you think about next week, where do you picture it? In front of you, to the left or the right? Where's next month? Where's a year? Where's 5 years? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you got a sense of it. Right, now what I'd like you to do is, so we're going to do another visualization in just a moment. Now, there are some people who go, I'm, as I mentioned, I'm not so great at visualization. It's fine. Everybody can visualize. Some people are better at it than others by virtue of their job, like interior designers. They come in and they go, oh, we'll have a beige carpet and a table there and curtains, etc. It's their job to hallucinate temporarily, I might add, right? Because you don't want to be doing that in every day, all the time, right? You want to be able to temporarily imagine something, rather, and also know the difference between imagination and reality. But everything you see around you right now once started as a thought in someone's head, yeah, including us, yeah. And so thoughts are powerful. For things to happen on the outside world, they've got to happen in the internal world, right? And so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to start creating really amazing things in the internal world. One of the reasons I use hypnosis is to help people, and things like NLP, is to see a richer world, right? That's simply it. And what Steve's going to be doing with you tomorrow in particular is well-formed outcomes, how to succeed with your goals. Because see, what happens is, well, at New Year's, right? I think it's like 80% of people have really failed at their New Year's resolutions by like literally week 2 or 3 or something like that, right? Because they're not goals, they're wishes. I wish I could quit smoking, or I wish I could, lose some weight, or I wish I could, I don't know, stop drinking, or I wish I could meet somebody, not be shy, or whatever, right? They're not goals. So when I tend to do a goal, I go off into the future and I imagine that I've already achieved it, right? And I do what's called an ecology check. Ecology is really the study of consequences, right? And we think of it in environmental terms, but it's in everything, right? So I go off and I go, I've achieved this. Now, was there any negative costs? Did I have to do something I didn't want to? Did I burn out? Did it affect my health? Was there a financial implication? Everything, right? So I just look at the consequences of it. And if there's negative stuff, I redesign the goal. I don't want that, right? Because I've done this in the past. Like years ago, I'd do something for the money, or I would think it was a good career move, and I'd end up in some project hating the other people, and it was just, and I just went, I'm never doing that again. So these days, I'm very fortunate. I only do things I want to do, right? I work with people I like, and I do things I like, and and I love doing this. Both me and Steve and the assistants, we love doing this, right? This is fantastic. So. This is more about what's coming out tomorrow, but I also look at what might stop me, what might get in the way, yeah? And so I can head those things off at the pass. So I want to give you just a taste of what it's going to be like. This is just a trailer for having a happier future. So I'd like you to, once again, close your eyes, if it's safe to do so, if you really can let yourself go, and we'll put some different relaxing music on. And what I want you to do is I'd like you to look at your timeline, right? And just look at the direction time moves for you, and see next week, next month, next year, and look out into the distance, 5 years, 10 years, etc., 20 years. That's right. And then look at the pictures there. That's good. Now, some people go, well, I haven't really got that many pictures in the future. Oh, well, it's time to put some there. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to travel out along your timeline 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to 1 year in the future. I'd like you to imagine it's 1 year in the future. But for the purpose of this process, I want you to imagine that it's been one of those most amazing years ever. It's been fantastic. Now, if that's true, if you've had one of the best years of your life, what must have happened in regards to your health, mental and physical? What must have happened? In regard to your relationships, personal, professional. It's been an absolutely amazing year. What must have happened in regard to your career, your finances, and your general levels of happiness? And I'd like you to live in this experience for a few moments. 1 year in the future, this amazing life. And what I want you to do is, I'd like you to float out of it and make a picture that represents it. And see you in the picture, looking healthy, happy, and successful. Maybe you're there with family or friends or loved ones or something, but you are looking real healthy, happy, and successful. And then I'd like you to put that big picture, make it huge 1 year from now on your timeline. So as you look out 1 year from now, you can see you really healthy, happy, and successful. Woo! Feels good. Make it huge. Float into it and experience it. Woo! Oh yeah, this is great. And then I'd like you to float back out of it and float back 3 months. And ask yourself, what happened 3 months from then? 3 months before. Get a sense of it. And then float back 3 months before that. And ask yourself, what happened before that? Yeah. Get a sense of it. Then float back another 3 months and get a sense of it. What happened? And float all the way back to now. And then what I'd like you to do is to look at your next year on your timeline and see a succession of images. As they are further away, they get bigger. So they start smaller and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, until you can see one really great cinema-sized picture on your timeline of you healthy, happy, and successful. Then I'd like you to put pictures in your timeline of you 2 years from now, looking healthy, happy, and successful. 5 years from now, healthy, happy, and successful. 10 years from now, healthy, happy, and successful. 20 years from now, healthy, happy, and successful. 30 years from now, healthy, happy, and successful. 40 years from now, 50 years, just way off into the future. And man, you are in fantastic shape. You are full of joy, happiness, success. Your life is great. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to float all the way down the timeline to near the end of your life. You're near the end of your life, and I'd like you to presuppose that you've had the most amazing life. Assume it. Your life has been fantastic. Now, if that's true, what made it fantastic? Was it things you did? Was it things you consistently did? Was it things you didn't do or stopped doing? Was it fulfilling your purpose, your mission? Things that empower you, fill you with passion and joy? Was it to do with family or career? What were the things that made your life absolutely amazing? And I'd like you to bring those insights back with you, all the way back to now, to here and now. And this is the beginning of this amazing, transformative weekend. And your unconscious mind has already begun making positive changes in how you think and feel, installing within you opportunities to perceive the world and see things to look and feel good about. Your perceptual filters are changing so that you notice opportunities and reasons to feel good. There are things to look forward to. Put them in your timeline. When you look at yourself in the future, you can see yourself healthy, happy, and successful. You can see a bright and compelling future. And when you're ready, just return back here to normal waking consciousness. Okay. Who feels good? Woo! Yeah, so we just got started. Anybody have, by the way, any like breakthroughs already this morning? Any shifts? Show me. No, proper hands up. Ooh. Anybody had shifts already? Yeah, we've only just got started. Because of course you're not frightened of public speaking now, are you? No. And of course, still out there. You don't think any of that. No. Of course, look at it. Look immediately. What about creativity? You creative? Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, what we've been doing over the last, I'm just going to recap on it. Last 90 minutes is we've been learning about how, the behaviors determine the results, and it's all down to state. State is pictures and sounds. We've begun playing with it, yeah? And physiology. What we also just did was we started to imagine, we say to the unconscious mind, yeah, this is the direction for the next year. Yeah. We've got things to look forward to. One of the things I noticed with people during the pandemic was like some of the, really like normally achiever type people I know, they just lost their mojo, their motivation. And when I talk to them, they say, well, I don't know, got that, can't make plans. Goalposts keep moving, right? So it is important for us to have things to look forward to. I get the power of now, but there's also a power of having things to look forward to. And to create a compelling future. But this is just the beginning. So coming up in after the break, we're going to take a 20-minute break now. 20 minutes, right? There's time to go tea, coffee, etc., bathroom, and then I'm introduced Steve to you. By the way, I know many of you will know who Steve is, but he's a phenomenal trainer and coach. We worked together for more than 2 decades. The great thing is we have completely different styles. And they complement each other, right? And Steve's going to be doing some absolutely amazingly powerful stuff with you. And what will happen is, we find this very often, is suddenly halfway through a session or through the first day or something, people suddenly go, oh, hello, oh my God, yeah, this. Do you know this is actually going to work, isn't it? Some people are benevolently skeptical. They go, oh, I see, maybe it won't, maybe it won't. And then other people are like, wow, and by tomorrow, you're going to be in a wow place. And, you're going to be able to take that into the future for the rest of your life. So see you back here at 10 to 12. Thanks very much.